I thought you are a fan of BTS, and lots of people are fan of BTS, and that's why they are moving
Yeah,
to South
no.
Korea. Are you?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not really into K-pop, but I feel like the whole industry is quite interesting. Because I was like, I looked at something on my phone and I laughed, and I was like, haha. And I looked around to see if anyone had like heard me, and every single person had either earphones or little AirPods in. And I literally went around and I counted them all. And I was like, wow, I wonder what everyone's listening to.
So you have been to Southeast Asia. What were
Yes.
the countries?
I started off in the Philippines and then went to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and Singapore, which
Singapore.
was great. Singapore's amazing. If you get the chance to go, you should go. It's got like the
I
most
know.
amazing architecture and yeah.
All the countries that you are describing about, I think it is in the prior list of Europeans, like if they want to visit
Yeah.
Asia, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because I have talked with so many people from Europe, and they told me yes, they have been to perhaps all these countries that you have named before, right?
Mm.
So Singapore, Cambodia, Hong Kong, right? Philippines, Vietnam. Okay, so what was interesting in Asia? What was
Um,
interesting?
what was interesting?
No.
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, it's so different to what I'm used to and what we're used to, like in England specifically. But I can't speak for the rest of Europe really. But um, yeah, it's so different, and like there's just the food was completely different, and the people. It was just nice to meet people from halfway across the world. I mean, that was the furthest away I had ever been. I was only 19 when I went, and that was the furthest like most different place I had ever been to. And yeah, it was just like really nice to see a different culture and a different way of life, and the landscape also is completely different, especially to England. Like the beaches and yeah, it was just beautiful. I was so glad I went. But I think because lots of other travelers go, it makes other travelers want to go because they think, oh, like it's a popular place. So it
Yeah.
makes more people want to go more and more and more. Whereas I think India is still popular, but I think more people tend to go to Southeast Asia. But I don't know why. I'm sure India is just as great.
Yes, I think it is convenient to travel throughout all these countries in that side,
Mm,
right? I kind of all these borders are attached, so you can easily travel one country to another country. But
mm,
if you're coming to this Asian part, it is big, kind of India, China, uh, you know
yeah,
these countries are very big. So you'll have to give lots of time to travel throughout all these countries. But if you're going to Southeast Asia, then even in less time you can travel all these countries. So I think that is
yeah.
why
That's a
people
very
like
good
to
point.
travel all these countries. Yeah. Apart
Yeah,
from this, yes, all the countries have their beautiful culture, and they have something special in them, right?
mm,
So that's why, yeah, you can travel
yeah.
any country of this world. All these
I
countries
think
have something
yeah,
special
I
to
think
them.
that's a really good point because I hadn't even thought about that before. But I think you're right. The fact that there's so many quite smaller countries really close together means that you can do more in like a shorter amount of time. I also think that places like Bali, I didn't go to Bali, but places like Bali have become very popular on Instagram. Lots of influencers go there, and it's become quite like westernized. Thailand is similar as well. So
Yes.
I think lots of people want to go there as well. Even for just a holiday, it's become more popular. So I was wondering, what do you do for like your job?
I own an institute. Okay, the name of
As in,
institute
as
is
in, do you like?
leadership classes.
Sorry, I phrased that badly. But do you like? Do you teach at the institute, or do you just like oversee?
No, both the works that I'm doing, like I am managing everything, and I'm also
Mm.
teaching chemistry there. Yeah.
Oh,
Nowadays, English, chemistry, both these subjects on my own.
okay, yeah. Because I wasn't sure if you were like, You know, sometimes schools or institutions have somebody who owns it and then they oversee, or sometimes they do both and they teach as well. So, oh, you do both. That's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you start that? What made you do it? Was it difficult?
Uh, I started back in 2017. Okay,
Mm.
so quite young age. I was just 18
Hmm.
uh, in those days, right? So I was interested in teaching, and on those days when I had started teaching, I was alone, all alone. I was teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry, all these subjects
Mm.
on my own. But
Mm.
later on, I felt very kind of it was not a easy work, so
Sure.
I started hiring tutors, and eventually right now I have tutors for other subjects, but I'm teaching chemistry. Yeah, mainly I'm chemistry teacher at my institute and a director.
Wow. So it kind of grew slowly, and now you have like a good team around you.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, now
amazing.
good team.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's really brave sometimes to start your own business or institution. Like, not most people would be too scared to do that because it is a risk.
Yeah,
But
it is very risky. But when you are very young, you have nothing to lose. And I was kind of in that mindset, I had nothing to lose.
yeah,
I just tried. And I knew that I could teach very well, right? So, yes. And
yeah,
because, so I started teaching. I used my skill and I built a business, kind of,
mm,
institution business,
yeah.
teaching. Yes, right now. So I'm helping children and I'm enjoying my life because right now I'm engaged in it and I love doing these
Oh,
works.
yeah. I feel
So,
like, yeah,
Mhm.
sounds amazing that you like
Mhm. So tell me a
enjoy what
little
you
bit
do.
about you. Like right now, what are you doing? You are teaching. You told me that you were teaching at a school somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But
So
Mhm.
go on, go on. So
What are you doing right now apart from Cambly?
it's a bit complicated at the moment. So I was teaching at a secondary school, doing like one-to-one support for children that have special needs, and then last year I decided to do my qualification for teaching English as a foreign language. So I did my CELTA with Cambridge, and then I got like a 3-month contract in Spain teaching English. So I moved out to Spain. I taught English to adults out there, which was really, really fun. I loved it. And I loved being in Spain as well. And then I moved back in July. And yeah, I'm in the process of an application to move to South Korea and teach English out there. But the process is taking forever. So I'm trying to keep busy. So I'm teaching on Cambly in the mornings. And then in the evenings, I have like a waitressing slash bar job just to bring in a bit of extra money. And I'm hoping to go to South Korea in February. So I've got a bit of time to save up some money. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like you have enough time right now, and you are moving to South Korea. So
Yeah,
once again, Asian country, right? No,
exactly.
Southeast Asia. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it is
Um,
your favorite place.
I, to be honest, I was actually attracted by like the job benefits. So I did some research, and apparently the best places to teach English are like Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong. So I looked into it, and yeah, this job is offering to pay for my flights, for my rent. I get like health insurance, 7 weeks holiday. So I was like, you know what? I don't know that much about South Korea, but I will do some research. And it seems like a really cool place, safe as well. So I was like, why not try somewhere new?
Okay. Yeah, I thought you are a fan of BTS, and lots of people are fan of BTS, and that's why they are moving
Yeah,
to South
no.
Korea. Are you?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not really into K-pop, but I feel like the whole industry is quite interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a documentary about Blackpink, the girl band.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just found it was really interesting. So yeah, I think it will be possibly a bit of a culture shock, possibly not. I don't know. I think it's just going to be different to life in the UK, and I think that's a good thing.
Okay. Did you get any culture shock in Southeast Asia, other country like you have been to Cambodia, uh,
Yeah.
Vietnam?
To be honest, definitely when I went to the Philippines, I went to Manila, and we went straight into the center, and it was this like quite rich area with like lots of tall high-rise buildings and designer shops. And then from our hotel room you could literally see like almost like a square where like the nice bit sort of ended, and like the most of the population in Manila lived. So we decided to go out that way because there was a museum we wanted to go to. And I just was like this, I couldn't believe like the difference between all those people in the middle having that much money and then the people on the outside were just had nothing, and their houses were falling apart, and that was quite sad to see. Lots of children would run after us and like pull on your clothes, but I mean it was like a little bit, yeah, it was a culture shock at the beginning, but you know, I didn't feel unsafe or anything, and I do think it's important to like see different, you know, how people live. So yeah.
That the right point that it is the right point that you are mentioning. Yes,
Mm.
if you go to all these throughout all these countries, okay, even I'm talking about India right now. If you would visit the cities, then you will feel that India is kind of very developed, very rich. But if you go 100 kilometer far from the city, then you will know the real India. You will know the
Mm.
real Cambodia, and
Mm.
that's why you would have got the culture shock. Yeah, because the place where you have been, tourists are coming, they are residing there, so that's why their uh, income is high, and that's why there are tall buildings. But if you go
Yeah,
inside the country, then you will see still people are suffering, and suffering,
exactly.
they are suffering a lot. I mean, not just suffering, okay, we have everything on this earth after all. Lots of people in this world are still suffering.
Mm.
And this is the Asia. If you go to other countries like South African country, then situation is far more worse.
Yeah, exactly. It is really sad, and like it does make you feel grateful for what you have. And yeah, I feel like there's lots of people that I know in the UK that complain about things that don't actually matter. When you see people that have like literally nothing, it makes you realize that, oh, our problems are very like different, and it kind of, I think everybody should be able to see that, and it would give them like a reality check. But unfortunately it's easy to become like self-absorbed in your own problems and not realize how lucky you are, you know.
I think so. I think so because when you are living in Europe, then only you could understand. Like you would be looking at somebody who is higher to you, in a status financially, and that's why it
Mm,
looks like you are not at a good position. But when you come to other countries like South Africa, Asia, inner part of Asia, then you will understand. Oh, things that I have been complaining doesn't make any sense for me, right? Yeah,
exactly.
situation is
Exactly.
different in other part of the world, right?
Yeah, yeah, completely. Won't ever experience that because people like to stay in their comfort zone, because if you acknowledge some problems, maybe you feel like, oh, maybe I should do something. But if you don't acknowledge them, then you don't have to do anything. So I think lots of people like to just, you know, they have their like blinkers on and they just like to focus on here and now, which I think is a bad, it's not the best attitude for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
yeah,
tell me about little bit your culture. I know a bit
yeah,
about England, right? So,
England, where to
tell me,
start?
yeah.
Go on, what were you going to say?
Okay. So tell me a bit about in English culture. I mean, I know something is common, drinking. Still in area, it is not as common as other part of the world. Okay. Uh, I know not only about drinking, like going to club, partying.
Yeah.
These things are now spreading in Asia, but it was not before. Okay. So apart from that, what is something that I don't know? Can you tell me some culture shock that I don't know
Oh,
about your country?
okay. Let me think. Um, a culture shock.
I
People aren't that friendly to each other. You might know this already, but
They are not friendly.
they're friendly to some extent. But sometimes, if you pass somebody in the street, you won't look at each other or smile. Especially if you're in London, you will not talk to each other. People on the train will just sit there on their phones and not look up and talk to each other. But if you go to the north of England, it's different. People are like, "Hi, how are you?" They smile at each other in the streets. I don't really know why this is, but yes, people in the north are very happy, very friendly. Um, for example, I went to Liverpool with my friends, and we clearly looked lost. And the number of people that came up to us to ask if we were okay, there were at least 4 complete strangers. If that was you, in the south, that would be a lot less likely to happen. So I don't know if you knew that already.
No, I didn't know. I I thought, people would be very, I think they are introverts, right? They are not extrovert. After all, they do not prefer to talk with each other. That is different thing. In
Yeah,
India, if you are walking on the road, and if you are from other country, then 10 people, no, everybody will look at you, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
hi, hello. They will do hi, hello to you. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
common in India.
Mm.
Even I have a experience of traveling to other states of India, right? So they can recognize, yeah, he's from different states. So as
Really?
soon as they will recognize hi, hello, they will do, right? So yeah,
Oh my God.
people are very friendly in India still.
Yeah. I think people in England are just too tired, I suppose, and too
They're
focused on
too busy for themselves. Yeah,
too
I understand.
focused on the job, like getting the money and doing this, doing
Mhm.
that, that
Yeah.
by the time they sit on the train or they're walking along the street, they're just so exhausted. So everybody wears headphones and just yeah.
They're watching their phone. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sat on the train the other day in London, and I looked around because I looked at something on my phone and I laughed and I was like, haha. And I looked around to see if anyone had heard me, and every single person had either earphones or little AirPods in. And I literally went around and I counted them all. And I was like, wow, I wonder what everyone's listening to, you know? But yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
way it
Now
is.
I feel like, in England, people are too busy for their ambitious things, right? Kind of,
Mm,
everybody has ambition for everything. Because I have talked with few people, they already decided what they have to do at the end of this week, right? Everything
yeah,
is scheduled. So someday I feel shocked, how can you live a life when everything is scheduled? For example, for
yeah,
me, yes, I do not schedule everything. Yeah, I know, like at the end of week, I will have time and I'm gonna enjoy it anyway.
hmm,
It doesn't matter. I don't have to make a routine. Whichever way I would feel to use it, I will use it. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's
exactly.
why.
You're
But people
flexible.
from your country, they have routine. Even what they are gonna do, they are gonna go to gym or any nightclub party, whatever they are gonna do. They have routine. Yeah, in
You
this
already
week,
know.
I'm gonna work for that many hours. I'm gonna save that much money. I'm gonna use it in this work. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
make me kind of extra, like it is astonishing thing how somebody can confine life in such a way. Like everything would be pre-decided.
yeah. I think I know we're nearly running out of time, but I think people also see their family less because England is so small. I think people are more likely to move away. So sometimes people don't see their family for a really long time. But I was chatting to a student from India, and they said that family is like everything.
Yes, here
It's
family is
really
everything.
important. But here, I think people can go like weeks and weeks, if not months, without seeing their family.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyway,
but
we are
yes.
running out of time. Yeah.
Lovely to
Mm.
chat to you today. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Same here. Goodbye.